Hello and welcome to the Business Made Easy show. I'm your host, Fiona Hall, and this is my co-host, Liz. And below me, anyway, we have Naadia Jackson Amiga, who is our special guest today. And the topic of today's show is how to sort out those Mailchimp lists. I don't know about you, but I've, done things unwisely and just kind of not set things up properly and ended up with quite a few lists that don't really work. When I go to send my newsletter, I've got to redo it a few times. So I'm really looking forward to this one because I know personally for me, I'm going to get a heap of great information because Naadia is the person who sorts that stuff out. And she's really clever at figuring out the solutions to things, and she does it really quickly. She's definitely got the part geek thing that I have, but way more. So the show, so the Business Made Easy show, so this is a show that we created, and it's all about giving people a little bit more information about specific topics that's going to help make business easier for them. Because a lot of us are entrepreneurs who start out and we love what we do, and there's all these gaps in our knowledge along the way that we need to fill as we go and grow our businesses. And sometimes we don't have the skills ourselves to do it, and we need to learn from other clever people. Or we need to figure out strategies for how we go find those people and help us to grow our businesses. So the guests that we invite on are people that I know, I've met, I've often worked with or used their services, and I really respect what they do in the world. They're really intelligent, wonderful, mainly women, which is great to showcase women. And we like to give people access to more freedom, basically, through learning, through creating spaces where they can come and join with us and learn something new to help them grow their business and make it easier, because business should be easy, I think. If it's hard, then we're doing it wrong. We need to stop, check in with ourselves, and find someone to help us move forward. So Liz and I both have this word freedom, and that's why we kind of are co-hosts on the show. Freedom is about accessing more fun in our business is one thing. I think both of us would agree on the fun thing. But it's also, finding that simple, easy way to do things. So that's what this show is all about. Now, the Business Made Easy community Facebook page, I'll make sure that link goes out with the show notes for those listening in later on. But you come across to the Facebook community page. We're building a wee tribe there. We seem to be growing quite well, actually. We're up to 188 members, and people seem to hop on there and share your, you might find a supplier, you might find a client there, you might find someone who is in your neighbourhood that maybe you could meet up for a coffee if you are an entrepreneur at home alone. It's quite nice to be able to connect with other people who are in the same position. You're also going to learn quite a bit in that little community. Each day I post a little nugget of information or something to get you thinking about your business differently. And all our guests are actually part of that community. So if you hear something on the show and you think, wow, that is so useful, I want to get in contact with that person, you can jump on into that private community group and get to ask them a question, and maybe there might even be someone you want to end up working with. So that's the show and how it works, and my lovely co-host Liz. So Liz is, she's a connector extraordinaire is the way that I describe her. She loves finding and helping people connect with the people to help them grow their business. She likes guiding them through that process, and she's also amazing at showcasing people in their talents. She runs Fuse events where she has guest speakers come and impart wisdom, but also provides a really cool networking event for those people who attend all the events to meet and connect with new people. So that's our Liz, and she'll introduce a little bit more about what she's up to when she pops over. So the next segment of the show is nuggets of wisdom. So each session I pop on with a little nugget of wisdom from my expertise, and I'm all about systems. Systems rock. And my nugget today is about personal productivity. And the reason I'm banging on about that is that it's part of a new program I'm working with some of my clients. And when I look at working with people in business, if their personal productivity isn't sorted, their business productivity will not be sorted. So you have to start with yourself first before you look at your business. And every time I haven't done that, things haven't gone well for the client, because you've got to learn some discipline. Who wants to learn that word? Not really most people. But personal productivity will actually give you access to more freedom. So the 3 things that I think will give you, the 3 things that I always focus on with people when I'm working with them it's kind of almost like you've actually got a hidden VA. You don't really realize it. And that hidden VA is in your email, your phone, and your calendar, if you accept them up right. So the way that you need to set up those things is actually to create some personal boundaries for yourself and your clients. So if you notice that you are still responding to client emails in your own country at 8 p.m. in the evening, and it's impacting on your family time, your personal workout time, your dinner time, stop and think and check in with yourself. You're probably not being the most productive if you're taking time away from those other things that you really need to do. So utilize your signature file in your email, and let part of that signature file, let people know how often you respond to your emails. So I was quite strict on myself about 4 months ago and made a little note in my signature file to say, I only respond to my emails first thing in the morning and middle of the day. And that has been really freeing for me. It's amazing. I might go on and send stuff out to other people, but I only respond to my emails in that time. And for me, that's been really freeing, just not to have to worry about, have I missed something? Because my clients know that that's the expectation we start working together. So anything urgent, is managed way more effectively for me. But also set that up, and because we've got your reply, if you're replying to an email from your phone, so think about what you put on that, where it says sent from my iPhone, you can actually edit that. Naadia will know about this. You can edit that function. So put that on there as well, saying this is a message sent from my phone. I only check my emails if it's urgent. Please send me text. So think about how you respond and how you want to teach people to treat you. The next thing is your voicemail message on your phone. Again, put what time people can expect you to return calls. Be quite clear about that. The other thing that I've implemented is ask them to send a text message if it's urgent. Often if you're in meetings or in between things, you might put off returning that call because you think, haven't got time to. But if it's urgent, you might jump on and solve it quickly. The next thing is your calendar. Give yourself some breathing room between each meeting. When you back-to-back meetings, you absolutely drain yourself and you don't give yourself a chance to action stuff from that meeting. And so what I noticed with me was I was going back to back to back, and then I'd be like rushing to pick up my kids from school from all those meetings. I'd get there and then I wouldn't be present with my kids because I'd be thinking, I must go when I get home and do this and do that and do that and do that. Get back home and then try and do some emails or try and return some stuff. But when I gave myself a 15-minute window between each meeting, even if I was sitting in my car and just writing myself a note or sending an email from my phone, it would mean stuff was cleared. And so when I got to the end of the day and I was picking my kids up, I was actually able to be present with them. So think about your meeting times and giving yourself a little bit of window. And also, we all know that meetings can sometimes blow over in time. So those are my little nuggets. You've got your own personal VA hidden in there. Go and utilize that amazing VA and leverage your existing tools. If you want some more tips, let's have a chat. Liz, over to you, my dear.
Awesome. Thanks, Fiona. And as quite often happens, our tips overlap today.
Yay!
But so I'm Liz Fry of lizfry.com. And so business mentor and life coach. So as Fiona was saying, it's sometimes hard to, put that line in between life and business. And, so often life or business can get in the way, or life can get in the way. It can be quite hard to separate them. And actually, I put in my newsletter this morning a quote, which I liked from Zig Ziglar, that said, "I believe that being successful means having a balance of success stories across the many areas of your life. You can't truly be considered successful in your business life if your home life is in shambles."
That's true.
And I just think...
Floor, okay?
I just had to clear the workbench. It's fine. Yeah, and so that's my nugget today in terms of, and it's actually, I heard Tracy Manu speak last week. She did an event for me, and something that she got us to do, and so this is all credit to her, and it's so simple. You just have to write down past, present and future on a piece of paper and just work out where you spend the percentage of your time. And you know, if you
thoughts,
so you know, if you're spending a lot of time in the past, then how helpful is that? How productive is that to move you forward? If you're spending a lot of time in the future, is that healthy? Is that productive? Or is it more sort of anxiety, overwhelm kind of thing? And yeah, I have to say at the time, the amount that I was spending in the present really wasn't very much at all. So yeah, my weekend in Piha that I've just come back from was all about just being present there and then and absorbing what was around. So very simple exercise, and it really just highlights to you where you're spending your time. And absolutely, you know, blocking time, as you say, in between appointments or in the calendar, just for you, for the kids, and for that home life as well, which is why, you know, we're meant to be in business so that we've got that freedom and things, and that choice. So just to really put the boundaries in place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So important. So easy to have work creep into every single moment, every spare moment, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Liz. Very pertinent. I couldn't agree with you more. We're going to head into the intro for our lovely guest, Naadia. So I met Naadia, I'm trying to think how long ago. It might have been 5 years ago, I think.
It was a while ago, definitely.
Quite a while ago, yeah. So Naadia is an extraordinary organiser. I met her when she was doing a lot of event organising, and she did all the logistics for them. You rocked up, you had your beautiful name tag all ready to go. You know, you were ticked off, you were signed in, you were set up, all your materials were ready. You just felt completely taken care of. Very welcoming too. Like, there's nothing worse than kind of rocking up and you don't know anybody else. It's an event, but she always had I always felt taken care of and welcomed, which is so important. And I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of customer service experiences probably over the last 4 or 5 years, and there seems to be this big hole in customer service and people not knowing how to make people feel welcome. And that's so important in your business. And the people that you are hiring in terms of your team, if they don't make your guests feel welcome, then, Liz, you would have noticed that too, you know, at events, if people don't feel welcome. And I know you're fantastic at that as well. So Naadia has become an online marketing strategist. She's gone from doing mainly the in-person event stuff, which she's really, really good at, into looking at the online stuff. So she helps her clients now with their online events and programs and launching and managing all of that. So all of the technical stuff behind that, all of the stuff that needs to be delivered, to be automated, to be set up, all that techie stuff that does most of us heads in to figure out, Naadia and her team make that happen. She still does a wee touch of event organising, but that's only for a very select few clients. Is that right? Yes?
Yes, that's right.
But you know that you're in good hands with Naadia, and she has got that strategy side of her that helps you figure out actually what's the simplest way to do things, which I absolutely love. She doesn't try to overcomplicate stuff for people. She makes it simple and easy to manage. So Naadia's got a wee team working with her at the moment. And she helps them with their online strategy and the events and the program launches and make sure it all runs smoothly. So welcome, Naadia. Great to have you here. Today she's going to talk to us, and we're all going to get some useful information about those pesky little email lists that we go, everyone tells us we need to create, right? And the problem can be if you don't set it up properly, you end up with 5 or 6 lists and you're not quite sure how to manage them and what to do with them. So Naadia's going to give us her wealth of experience. I imagine we'll be peppering her with questions, Liz and I, today, around how to manage those lists. And I imagine the first part would start with the setup. Is that right, Naadia?
Oh, completely. So one of the biggest thing with online marketing is once you've got them into your funnel, what do you do with them and how do you manage that?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things working with Mailchimp, which is really cool, is it's really started looking at groups and segments, and you can now create automations. So automations are emails that go out after an automation. What's actually really cool is a lot of them could be date-based. So for example, if I've got a client that has an estimated due date for their birth, for a baby's birth. So we send out an email 4 weeks beforehand and 4 weeks after it.
Nice.
And it's all these things because it's about you staying in touch with your clients in a lovely way and in an authentic way. Especially as women, a lot of the things with women is we do things by feel.
Yeah.
How does something feel? How does a website feel? How does the person you're talking to feel to you? We are so gut-based.
Yeah.
If you feel that something's not, that's a bit iffy, then we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we're looking at with Mailchimp is setting it up so it's as easy as possible for you to do it. I went to see a potential client the other day, and they had 21 lists.
Wow.
And I said to them, so if you send out an email, a newsletter, do you send one out to every list? And she goes, yes. I'm like, wonderful. Right, okay.
The same newsletter?
Same newsletter to every single list. So as you can imagine, even just on a page, how Mailchimp works is you can only see 10 campaigns at a time, which is emails.
Yeah.
If you've got 21 of them, it takes up 3 different parts. And it was just, as I said to her, do you want to do it that way? Do you have to do it that way? No, good, let's change it. I'm actually running a free challenge that's to sort out your Mailchimp list. And one of the reasons is there's quite a bit of thought that needs to go into how to do it. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you got your list, right? Where do they come from?
Yeah.
You've got an opt-in that's populating it, then you need to change it. The other thing we found out with Mailchimp is that using the Mailchimp forms doesn't really work for marketing. They work for a basic newsletter opt-in, but doesn't really work well for marketing. And the main reason is you can't have more than one. And you also can't have them into different groups.
Ah.
So for example, you've got a free ebook, you've got an infographic, and you've got a challenge. There are 3 separate ways that somebody can join your list.
Yeah.
So you can't use a Mailchimp form. It doesn't work. So there's a couple of cool products that we use to go with Mailchimp so that you can really decipher which groups people go into. So this is one of the things you kind of like, you get your lists and you go, where do they all come from? Okay, do I need to have separate lists? So I've got 2 lists in my database. One is for my family camp meeting, because we have a camp every year, and so I email out the minutes to them, and I can guarantee if they come on my main list they would, but they're not my client market. Yeah. So that's why I have 2 lists, but everybody else goes into my uniqueness solutions or techie BA lists. And they go in there because then I can, if I'm sending out an email, I can send it out to everyone. Or if I want to send out an email to some of them, but not all of them, if they're all on one list, I can tell it to send them out to different people. So for example, you're doing an event list. You've got everyone that's registered, but you don't want to send out an email to them telling them that there's still more places to go. Yeah. You don't want to tell them, so you can, when you set it all up properly in Mailchimp, it's very easy to say, yes, I want to talk to these people, but not these people, but only if they're in the same list.
So is that the segments underneath? Is that when you split it into segments?
What you do is you're putting them into groups. Okay. So there's a difference between groups and segments. Groups is when you'd go, so I'd have a group called opt-in, and then I'd have some subgroups, which would be the infographic and the ebook and the challenge. They'd be my subgroups. And then in that, I might create a segment though that goes, if I send out a specific email, I want it to send it to the infographic people and the ebook people, but only those 2. I would create a segment that then, so what a segment is just an easy way of sending out an email if you're using it over and over again. So for example, if you want to send an email over and over again just to part of your database, you would create a segment, because then it makes it easier to send it out. You don't have to keep going in each time and going, yes, these people, no, not that people, but yes, that person.
So you might want to, so I'm imagining that would be like, so people who are, so all the leads, people who would sit under a lead who you haven't yet purchased from you, you might make a segment for leads, but then
Correct.
you might make a segment for people who have purchased for you, for like people who've clients who've been to an event, like you've been to one of our previous events, so here's our next upcoming one kind of thing. So you can personalize it a bit more.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is it could be that you might have a group that's called events, and under that you'd have event 1 registered, event 1 attended. So there are 2 subgroups. And then
Nice.
you'd have event 2 attended, event 2 registered, for example. And you might want to have a segment that has everyone that's attended any of these events. So you'd pick event 1, 2, 3, 4 and make it a segment that says attended.
Yes.
So then it's easy for you to then to email out to those people who have attended.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone else, even if they have, because if they remember, one person can have multiple groups.
Yes.
So they could be in the attended and the registered.
Yeah.
But if you, which works well. So does that kind of make sense with the way? So Mailchimp does a really cool thing, and it's actually really easy to do once you understand the difference between groups and segments.
So that's the key. So the group is how they got on your list.
Correct. Is where you put them once they get on their list.
Yeah. So it's where, so the group would be how they got on the list, kind of thing.
Yes. So a group would be how they got on. Exactly. It's exactly how they got on the list. So if you had an event, they would get in there by Eventbrite, for example. You'd put. It's kind of like tags. Groups are like tags. So
Nice.
you tag people that they've come in. Now, the best thing about doing it this way is that means, for example, Liz, you could have signed up for the infographic and the ebook and the challenge, and you can all put one list.
And I'll only get it once.
And you'll only get it once.
Yeah, because I've had people send me email twice. I'm like, why am I getting this twice? This is the same email, and I've been like, what?
Yeah.
Now I know why I'm doing it.
It's because you're in 2 separate groups. And then what happens is you'll unsubscribe from one, but you might unsubscribe from the wrong list.
Yeah.
Like you might unsubscribe from their main list where they don't want you to unsubscribe from because you're getting 2. And how would you know? Because you don't know.
Or it's just annoying. Or you're getting 2 and you're getting annoyed. It's like, stop clogging up my inbox because I've got 3 emails from you in the past day, or 4 or 5 or whatever.
Exactly, and then you unsubscribe and you get it wrong. So, but the other thing is, though, when you're using to opt in, you need to use something like lead pages,
right?
Or this really cool product called Jotform. Now, Jotform is a little form product, and it's free up to 100 subscribers a month, and then after that, it's a very small amount. But I use this for a lot of my clients, and the best thing is because it hooks into the groups part. So you can really go. So you fill out one and go, okay, I want it to go to that group.
Yeah.
That means, and then you do the automation part out of Mailchimp. You do it from a list group. So they're not joining a list, they're joining a list group. Which means that, so for example, Liz has signed up to 3 different ones, 3 different opt-ins. She will then, because of you can still have it go out of one list, where before you had to have a different list for each opt-in.
Yeah.
Which would then, yeah. So I know that's a bit technical, but if you have a look at something called Jotform, it's Jotform. It's very cool. The other thing it does is it takes PayPal payments.
Oh.
And how it works, which is very cool, is that they do the payment. Now, if the payment doesn't work, that name does not go into Mailchimp.
Right.
Because I know that a lot of times people do payments from like a lead page, for example, or a website, and they go straight to PayPal. But then you don't get their details.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into any system that you need. So Jotform's it's a really cool little product.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing with Mailchimp is actually really easy to do your marketing, as long as you get everything set up properly, and it's all about the groups.
And it's all about how you set it up properly and the naming conventions and knowing, having a process and procedure.
Exactly. So one of the things I'm doing I've got this little free challenge going on about cleaning up.
Yeah.
So what it is it's you sign up. I was going to call it a 7-day process, but it's more like a 7-step process. Yeah. The reason is the first couple of days is really about planning. Yeah. And looking at your list and going, where does that thing come from? Yeah. What group do I want to put it in? Because a lot of time we've got 21 lists, for example, and we're like, okay, oh, that's an opt-in, that's an opt-in, oh, that's an event. That, you know, like you've got them from all sorts of different places.
Yeah.
And you need to be really specific. Now, Mailchimp can only do 60 groups, subgroups, 60 subgroups. You've got to be, so how I normally do it is I said, this is registered and they've attended it. So then you take them out of registered and you put them into attended once they've attended, and then you can use the registered button again if you're doing something over and over again, like a challenge or the same event, or something like that. And then the other thing is, so then we do that, and then the next thing we look at is fixing up your automations. So making sure you've got the right software that you're using.
Yeah.
Don't use Mailchimp. The other thing that's really cool with Jotform, it hooks them really well with Facebook, for example, with that Facebook thing. Yeah, just don't use the Mailchimp forms. The other thing that's really cool about lead pages and Jotform is you don't have that double opt-in. You know how they go, please, now go and check your email to make sure you are the person you have, and then you have to go to your email, you click it, and then you have to go back to another website. And it's so many like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that. Well, it can, but we choose not to.
Yeah.
The other thing that's cool with Jotform, if you don't have automations, is it does allow one automated email to go out. For example, a welcome email.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool as well with that.
So you recommend not using the automated, because I set up a ebook. I've got an opt-in for a free ebook off my website, as you're supposed to do, and then it goes into my email, into Mailchimp, and then I've got a series of 3 emails paced a day apart, but that's through Mailchimp. That's okay.
Yeah. So the only reason I would say Jotform is if you don't have autoresponders set up, because it is a cost for Mailchimp. And also, if you don't have, if you just want to do something really easy, and there isn't a whole lot of emails that go with it.
Not a high volume. Yeah.
But if you've got, because you need to be able to send out multiple emails, not too many.
Yeah.
But enough that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Especially for people. Yeah, especially for the email, because you'll be giving lots of great information, I'm assuming, as the emails go out as well.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to do. So definitely do that. But you should do that from a list group. Joining a list group.
Yes.
Not joining the list. Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
And going back to the segment, do you get the opportunity, or would you need to, on the footer where you say how they ended up on that list, does that need to be different for all of them?
I would do a generic one.
Yeah.
Like you've attended events, or you've done this, or you've done this, or done this with us.
Yeah.
The other thing you need to be careful of, and I know Mailchimp doesn't like us doing that, but as women who work from home, please don't put your home address.
No.
You actually, all you need is a suburb. You just need a suburb and a city. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's something that a lot of people do. The other thing you should do, which a lot of people don't do, and I've seen this in amazing newsletters that come out, if I wanted to, because I've had a couple of email addresses over the last couple of years, if I wanted to change my information, like my name, or I got married, for example, or my email address, if you click on update profile at the bottom of all your Mailchimp emails, please make sure that that form is branded.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I've seen it lots of times. You see this beautiful email and you go update profile, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's just the generic thing. It doesn't even have an image at the top. It looks terrible. And Mailchimp allows you to do some really cool, it's very basic. It's like changing the background.
Yeah.
Putting an image at the top. Putting a little bit of
put your logo and your photo and stuff in.
Exactly. Even just something little so they know they've gone to the right place. So it's those little things that...
There's nothing worse than doing something and you think, am I in the right place still? Like it's, but not quite sure. Yeah, you're doing it in the right place yet. That sounds good.
The whole point of cleaning up your Mailchimp list is 2 things. One thing is it makes your marketing so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier for one place than 20.
Yes.
But also it's much easier to say, actually, I don't want, you can even have a group going, these people are blocked, but they're not blocked, if that makes sense. So they don't get stuff, because you never know. There are some people who aren't in your target market, for example, that you might have issues or whatever. You don't want to unsubscribe them because they haven't unsubscribed.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really cool is actually having a list, which is a separate list, that's called something like, I've met you, but you haven't subscribed to my list. Like, you know how you go to a networking function and you get all these business cards? One of the quite cool to do is to come back, put them into a Mailchimp list called not yet subscribed, for example, and get a welcome email that sends out to them asking them, saying, hey, it was great to talk to you, and here's a free ebook, for example. Then they sign up to the ebook and they're now on your list.
Yeah.
And you're only emailing those people from once, but it's a good little way, because it's all about customer service and welcoming and loving people.
Yeah.
And getting an email like that, and you can set it up in a way that you can even go, where did they meet them? And you type in the information and it sets it up into the MailChimp email automatically. So there's all these little cool, funky little things that you can do, which is because customer service and emails are so important. And you've just got to remember you don't bombard your list. Because I signed up to somebody the other day for an ebook. Book, I like 2 emails a day or something. It was American, obviously. But it was just like, no, cancel, get out, don't want to talk to you. Couldn't even be bothered about reading them all. So it's just about being really specific about what you're going to do, and don't sell too much on the freebie part.
Yeah, yeah. What do you find in terms of frequency? It's my big question. Yeah.
It all depends on what you're talking about.
I've just unsubscribed. Honestly, each week I'm doing 2 or 3 unsubscribes because I'm like...
Well, this is the thing. We're all so busy. And so we'll see something on Facebook and there's a little thing going, hey, there's an ebook. And we go, oh, great, let's pick that. And we do it. And do we even look at the ebook?
No.
Because sometimes you have time and sometimes you don't, right? And I've got lots of them that I'm terrible with too. But it's, doing one... You just don't want to send them out, especially to New Zealanders. We just don't have time or inclination to do it. But if you had something like it was a little paragraph, for example, with a cool tip, I'd open that. There's another virtual assistant that has these great emails that come up with all these tips. And I look at hers once, I think it's once a month, but it's one of the only ones I pretty much look at because it's got stuff I know is interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the value, isn't it? It's got to be valuable.
Yeah.
And also, some will like them and some won't.
Yeah.
And if they unsubscribe, good.
Yeah.
Now, the other cool thing, if you get down your MailChimp list to 1 or 2, is that MailChimp charges you per name, per list. So if Liz, for example, was on 21 on each of these lists, because she's opted in 21 times or done events with them, you're now paying the Liz's email address 21 times.
Yeah. So you want it clean.
Exactly, because that takes down, and that really takes down, because we all do it. We have multiple lists, and then we've got all the same person on each one. So bringing it down to one list means you're only paying for that person once, and that can be a big difference between, even 5,000 people to 2,000 people, for example.
Yeah.
And then you can also look at cleaning up your list every once in a while, but you should tell people if you're going to do it, because sometimes people are looking at your emails, but you can't tell. Or the system can't tell. So it's always good to send out an email to them going, hey, we're cleaning up our lists. If you don't come back or you don't resubscribe or whatever, we're going to unsubscribe you. And then you'll have all these people going, oh, hold on, I want to subscribe. Because you just don't know.
Yeah. I saw that once and then I keep seeing it thinking, that's a strategy.
Well, it can be.
Yeah.
But it's also, because if you've got a whole lot of 1s or 2 stars, you might go, oh, it doesn't mean anything. But how MailChimp works is it works on images. So if the image gets displayed, it counts it as viewed.
Right.
But Outlook, for example, automatically turns off images. You actually have to physically turn it on.
Yes. So
it could be easy that a lot of the images, especially when a lot of ours are writing documents, they're not a lot of imagery, it could easily miss it.
Yeah.
You want to be careful.
Yeah. That's a really good tip, Naadia.
Would you looking at the sort of back of it and the insights and stuff? Would you ever pick people out, say the ones that are clicking and being more interactive? Would you do anything different with them?
You could definitely, because if there's the 5-star or the 4-star people, which is people we know are clicking, we know that they're actually opening the emails and clicking on the stuff we send them. You can easily send them a special offer or a special deal, or it's actually the MailChimp's got this. There's so many different things that you can choose to do things with. It just depends on what your marketing strategy is and how you want to do it. But the biggest thing with obviously all marketing is that if somebody unsubscribes, they're not your client market. They're not your ideal client. Mm. And it's about also giving out information to them that's important. So one of the things, and I'm sure you guys know this, but I'll just put it out there as well, newsletters are great, kind of, for telling everybody about your light or about what's happening in your business, or have a little tips and tricks. But a lot of time you don't get as much feedback from it because it's such a newsletter type thing. If you want to get feedback from something, you send out one email about one topic.
Less is more.
Less is more, exactly. Yeah. So every topic has, so how I've actually started talking to my clients is, newsletters are great, but do we get much uplift? Not really. So let's send out 2 emails a month,
yeah,
on specific topics, but only 1 per topic. Saying that though, a PS is also really good for adding something else into it.
Yeah.
Without making it obvious.
So like with Liz, with her events, her live events, she might have an event list, like click on the calendar or book here, subscribe, grab your spot type of thing. And then here's my top tip for the month type of thing. Like that would be.
And that kind of thing's fine because you're putting both in it.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to read newsletters.
No.
And I'm assuming it will be the same for the majority of others people.
Yeah.
And please never put as your title newsletter.
Yeah.
Because that normally, unless it's somebody that you really, really love,
yeah,
and they're the people you want to talk to, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
So you need to be really specific also about your subject lines. The best subject line I ever wrote was, I'm sorry.
I saw that and I was like, oh, what's she sorry about?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've
seen that one.
I had a great uplift on that. And what it actually was about, I was sorry that I hadn't communicated who my new team was to my database.
Yeah.
And, and then it brings it in and it talks about who we are and what we can do and all those kind of things. But you've got to get a title, a subject, and think about it, about what's actually going to grab you. And the best thing about Mailchimp is you can use emojis in there. I had a client that did that the other day and I went, oh, very cool. I don't do it myself, but she did it, so that was funky. Yeah. And also put in the first name or your company name, depending on their company name. Yeah. So we'd come up with, Belinda, make sure you don't miss out. And the moment it's got your name in it, you always look at it more. And also, if you put the names in as you go through the copy, it just reiterates that you're talking to them. Yeah. Even though I know, I mean, we all know it's an email to everybody, but it's just seeing my name always makes me feel better.
I subscribed to a Huggies list, or some list or something. It was a Nappies Direct thing, and
that would have been a while ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
Just got too much time on the hands.
Yeah, it was something that was pretty much before I gave birth anyway. And then I kept getting these emails after I'd given birth, but this product was prior. I can't remember what it was now. It might have been, I don't know, pregnancy massage or something. And I unsubscribed and it didn't go off the list, and I kept getting them. It was really weird. It took me 3 unsubscribes before I finally got off their list. So I must have been on different lists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And because unsubscribing is important, you need to be able to unsubscribe. And Mailchimp makes it so you have to, no matter what.
Yeah.
Once you are paying though, please take off the Mailchimp little chimp thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Makes sense because you can take it off, and when you're creating an email there's actually something that says, God, I can't remember, but it's something about you can remove that done by Mailchimp thing at the bottom. It's fine when it's free, but if you're paying for it,
is it still like 2,000 subscribers for free? Yeah,
it's 2,000 subscribers unless you want to do autoresponders.
That's funny because mine's free, but I have auto subscribe. I have the
got that a long time ago. It stopped about a couple of years ago. It suddenly stopped, and what happened is, exactly, it's so cool, but they haven't actually changed it for the people who didn't have it, which is great. No, now you have to pay.
Yeah, no, mine's free.
Yeah, there's a whole. So I'm not free because I didn't organise my own list, of course. That's what happens. But yeah, so that's really important. So normally now when you get Mailchimp, you've got to pay for autoresponders, which is fair enough because it's a really cool thing.
I was really impressed going, how did this just appear? It just appeared.
Yeah, so don't change your Mailchimp, otherwise that will not happen.
Yeah.
Liz, is yours free? Do you use Mailchimp?
Yeah. I use Mailchimp, but I'm not on the autoresponders yet. Yeah. No.
Well, that's why something like so with events, what software are you using?
in terms of getting the events out there?
Yes.
Eventbrite.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. And Eventbrite's really good. I've
Yeah.
used Eventbrite for years and years. It's fantastic. And they've got the new one that's set up too, so that you've got a big image at the top.
Yeah.
And then all
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Going back to your unsubscribes, what about the ones that obviously aren't MailChimp, where you then go to unsubscribe them and you then have to sign in? Not that I can ever remember what sign-in details I've used to get the thing in the first place. What is the worst thing I can do to that email? Like, can I put it in junk or something that will...
set up a rule.
You mean you've unsubscribed them and they're still coming in?
No, like when I go to unsubscribe, they ask you to log in and change your email preferences. And of course, I can't remember my login details for that particular
Is it Entreport or one of those big ones?
Oh, they all do some really weird things. And you're like, so you're just asking me for my email address again? I always get a bit like, are they actually, so these are obviously people you do actually know, or was it just a random email that you got?
No, I think like we all do, signed up for something at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, if I put them in spam, would that work? Or
yeah, that would work actually. If you make them spam, they'll just keep going in there and hopefully get rid of them. Otherwise, as Fiona said, you can create a rule that says if this person comes in, delete it. What system are you using for email?
Google.
Gmail.
Okay, perfect. You can definitely, with Gmail, you can definitely create, it's called a filter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go into where the knob is up the top and go into filters. Yeah, it does it there. Now, so Fiona was talking about email signatures. Now, here's something really cool. If you email yourself an email onto your phone, the email signature's at the bottom of that email, right? You copy it and you put it into the email signatures and it will actually come up. So you've still got... So, for example, if you want your email address, email signature on your phone to match the one on your computer, you send yourself the email on your phone, because you know how you get the email on the phone.
Yeah.
So you're sending an email to yourself, right?
Yeah.
You get the email on the phone, you copy the address.
Yeah.
Copy the signature from the nice one that comes out on your email, and then you can actually copy it to your email signatures on your phone.
Oh.
So you don't know, when you get an email from me, you wouldn't know if it's on my phone or on my computer because they look the same.
Yeah.
Ooh. Very handy. Thank you. Great tip.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite enjoy that kind of stuff, yes.
Do you change your signature regularly, Naadia? You know, if you have got your challenge or something special going on?
Oh, completely. Yes, completely. Because, you know, as Fiona was saying, at the bottom of hers, she has when she talks to people, right? When her emails are available. Definitely you should have it on there. And if you've got a new image, you should put it on there as well for that. It's just a bit like branding. You should change your branding once in a while as well.
It's
obviously
a marketing opportunity, isn't it, Naadia?
Oh, I change mine all the time because I'm still looking for a new name and a new email signature and a new image. The main thing that probably stays the same, and this is actually really cool with women who are dealing with women or even anyone else, is if it's about you. So my business is about you, me. Fiona's business is pretty much about her, and Liz, yours is definitely about you. You need to have a photo of yourself.
Yeah.
In the signature.
Because I've had clients come up to me. I was meeting somebody and I'm thinking, I don't even know what she looks like. And she goes, Naadia, hi. Okay, you must be it. And the reason they know is because my face.
Yeah.
My email signature.
Yeah.
Very important. It's just because then they know you. They automatically know who you are.
Yeah.
I was meeting someone the other day and we'd kind of met through our Facebook group that we're in, and I actually took a photo of myself on my phone and sent it in the Facebook messenger saying, hey, this is me, just in case you don't know what I look like. Because her personal profile image was of her cat. So, I mean, not going to be looking for a cat in the cafe.
and this is something else when it comes down to marketing. You know, your personal profile page, especially on Facebook, which is where people mostly come in like me, more than my business page, because it's about me.
Yeah.
Is my personal profile page is most of it is actually about me. Sorry, about my business.
Yeah.
Well, and my toe, because I broke my toe. So. It was a great way of going out, because somebody goes, did you put it on your page? And I'm like, no one sees that, because they don't. No one sees your page. unless they come in for the first time and then they might see it.
Yeah.
But everyone sees a lot of the stuff that comes out through your personal page.
Yeah.
So your personal page, my one's got my face on it, and it actually looks quite like my business page, to be completely honest, with the logos and stuff. So because people, that's why they come and see. You're not going to, your company name not so much, because like Kippen or Fiona. Oh, I know Fiona Hall.
That's why I've changed mine to Fiona Hall Kiffen.
Oh, exactly. And you'll be the same, Liz, I'm sure. I mean, yours is not probably so difficult since it's your name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's something that's really important with Facebook as well. And also Facebook can easily hook into a whole lot of different ways of, going into MailChimp as well, depending on what you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
But it hooks into the opt-in page, and then the opt-in page goes into MailChimp. So,
hey, Naadia, do you want to pop in the message area, the link to your challenge?
Certainly. Oh, it's really easy. So I've got a new company called Techie VA, because I'm the online marketing Techie VA kind of thing. I do a lot of other stuff, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
So if you just go into www.techyva.com, on there is a button at the top, near the top of the page, that goes Join Me.
Awesome.
And that's how you join us.
And that's ongoing?
That will be so it's starting on the 22nd of August.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But this one that's happening now in 2006, but I'm going to be doing them ongoingly, definitely, because it's something that is so important. Now, also, every time you do a challenge or something like that, as a marketing point, you need to have a back end, as in a purpose for doing it. So obviously, I'm going to be allowing people to have certain packages where they come in and go, right, so please, oh my goodness, cannot do this. This is way too hard.
Yeah.
Can we get Naadia team to do it? So obviously, I've got that in the back end as well. But every database needs to have some kind of call to action at the end, even something small like a 20-minute consultation or something. Yeah. Otherwise, really, what's the point?
Yeah.
Really. So, yes, there has to be something in it for everybody. And if they do it themselves, that's fantastic. But I've had clients, it's taken me 3 hours to do some of the clients' ones, where we've actually sat down and gone, okay, where does all this stuff even go?
Yeah.
Because I've got something for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, some people are easy and some people are hard. It just depends on where you're at in your stage of development as well. Yeah. But if you can get it sorted at the beginning, it's like much
easier. Yeah. Awesome.
I think we're great ambassadors for that, aren't we, Fiona, in terms of or advocates for that, for getting people in to help.
Totally. Got to make life easier.
Oh. Yeah. And I love, Liz, what you were saying about, we're in business, we love business, but it is the whole point of it was so that we could spend more time with our families.
Yeah.
Which a lot of time we forget.
Yes. Exactly.
And I really got what you said by we need to sometimes live in the present. Yeah. And enjoy the present.
Yeah.
Completely.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's interesting because, I've just started a life coaching course just to consolidate what I already know. And a lot of people have said, but what about the business mentoring? And I said, well, it's going to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
As I say, like, it's such a blurry line between the two of them. It, just makes sense to have those tools as well. To be able to help people, especially small business owners that are working on their own. It can be amazing what we sort of try and carry on with and carry around with us. So, for sure. Definite combination there.
Cool. Hey, Naadia, the question I always ask guests when we're coming towards the end of the show is, if you could go back in time to when you first started your own business, what advice would you give your younger self?
I started my first business in 1999.
Yep.
Which was a long time ago. What would I give? So this new business I started was about 3 years ago. What would I give my new self? Okay, be yourself. Is the main thing. Yeah. People come to me because it's me.
Yeah.
There's other people who can do what I can do, but I'm fun and a bit quirky. But the biggest thing, one of the things is that I talk about we. So if I'm talking to Liz, for example, about her business, I'd be talking about our business. If I was talking to Fiona, it would be our business, or what are we going to be doing, or whatever. Yeah. Because as a small business person, it's about a team, right? Yeah. So one thing is be yourself, because yourself is what's going to sell you. And the other thing is keep it simple.
Nice. Great advice. Cool. And is there any lessons that is there anything that you learned that you think back now that you did that you think you do differently?
How long have we got?
I think the hardest thing...
Startup stage, I'm thinking, in the very beginning, you know, where you kind of like...
The hardest thing for a lot of people is they go, I'll worry about the money later.
Yeah.
Or I'll worry about setting up my foundation accounts later. You know, and so because I've done a couple of businesses, the first thing I did was set up my Xero account.
Yeah.
And my bank accounts and made myself a company. So I did all the basic foundations because it's much easier doing it from scratch, like from the beginning, than going back and changing. And I know it's not very exciting, but that's what I would do. And then the other thing I would say is get out into the networking groups.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard because at the beginning we have no idea not really who our ideal client is, mainly because it evolves as we go through. And also at the beginning you will take on everything you can find of all your different things that you do, because I'm good at lots of stuff, but what I really enjoy doing is something completely different than what I'm really good at, you know. Like I used to manage events all the time. I'm so pleased I don't do that anymore. Because it's not my passion. I really enjoy talking to people about where they're at their business and how we can get them to the next level and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously doing all the techie stuff for them, because I love techie stuff. Yeah. And my techie stuff, so that's quite good. So that's what I would do, is get your foundations right from the start. Yeah. You know, IRC, GST, all that kind of stuff if you need, you know, because going by the wayside doesn't really work. Paying your GST on time is really, really important. Yeah. And your taxes and everything else. And then, and getting out and meeting people. And don't put yourself in a room and leave yourself there. So you're just going to don't work. Even doing things like this, I actually feel like I'm in a room with you guys.
Yeah, connecting. Connecting's important, eh?
Connecting is very important. And there's lots of people out there who don't like doing it either, so you can go into, you know, connect that way. You can even connect on Facebook groups online. They don't even have to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just get the name out.
Exactly. It's about, and then once you've got one good client who can then suggest you go to everyone else, then you're sweet.
Exactly. Hey, Naadia, thank you so much for jumping online with us this morning. I knew I'd get lots of useful stuff to do. Now I've got homework, right? Yeah.
We always do.
We always do, yeah. So I'll be signing up to your Techie VA challenge. It sounds like awesome. I need to get my Mailchimp list sorted, because I thought it was so cool getting someone to help me to figure out how to set up the template to start with, but I never actually stopped and thought about how to structure the lists properly, because I just thought, well, they just come in one way, you know. But I mean, that was, I don't know, I set it up so long ago now. But yeah, and things change and evolve, right? Like, you didn't do challenges. There wasn't even Facebook, I don't think, when I first set up my Mailchimp list. So, God.
And there's so many challenges going on at the moment, and it's also about how do you make money out of them and how do you do it. I've got a really good tip for that too, but
maybe we'll save that and put it in the Facebook group for people who want to jump across. Am I doing it right, Naadia?
Yes, exactly. Come and talk to me, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop the link in there. Where are we? Right. Yeah. That's the community Facebook chat. That's our Business Made Easy tribe. So you can jump on over there and come and find us, and I'll accept you in and welcome you in. And I've just started doing an intro on Fridays. So Fridays, Freebie Fridays, people can jump on. I'll post a link up there, and you can introduce yourself and your business so you can get to know each other as well in there. Awesome. So thanks, Naadia. Thank you for your wisdom. And I'm sure Liz and I will be going away and sorting out our groups and our segments now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, guys, it was lovely to be on the call with you. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. It was great to get your feedback and see what we can all do to, you know, support other people in business.
Totally. Absolutely. So important. Yeah. Next fortnight, we have another Fiona joining us, Fiona Clark from Breakthrough Business Solutions. She's going to be talking about marketing your business. That's her background. She's come from a corporate background, and she works with a lot of small businesses now, really nailing their marketing. So I'm going to be talking to her in some detail about marketing your business, probably more from a strategic level and start with, but also the kind of practical stuff that we really need to think about as a small business, because marketing can be this massive big thing to those of us who don't have experience in it, and it can be quite overwhelming. So I'm looking forward to speaking to Fiona and getting her wisdom in our next call. So I'm Fiona Hall, and you can find me still until I get my new website sorted out, which is coming soon, at kafin.co.nz. And Liz, do you want to pop up your link to your business as well? People can find you if they want to. Why does mine not come through? Is it coming in?
I can see it.
Oh, you can? Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, if you want to come and join us and get to know more about what we do and how we can help you in your business, we'd love to meet with you. But if not, come across to the Facebook community and join the tribe and come and hang out with cool people like us and Naadia. And I'm going to sign off for our Business Made Easy, and we'll see you again in a fortnight, Monday, 9 a.m. And we'll be speaking with Fiona Clark then. Bye now.
Awesome.